Hello, I hope this finds you well. I'm Yolanda Bradshaw, a master's student in the Department of Animal Sciences at The Ohio State University, and today I'd like to discuss some of my graduate research, the effects of breed identification on shelter dog adoptability. Out of our vast animal kingdom, the species we find ourselves interacting with the most are our pets, our dogs and cats. Think about the numerous ways you or someone you know may have acquired their pet. We're experiencing a societal shift in the ways we acquire our pets. Animal shelters emerged from this shift in our relationship with animals, and today it's common to find dogs in most households, but what about the dogs that no longer have a home or never had one to begin with? Many will end up in an animal shelter, and not all will be adopted. Whether it's space or other resources, shelters are not designed to hold every animal long term, and it's not ideal for the shelter or the dog's well-being. Depending if the shelter is primarily funded by private or public dollars determines a lot of what they can do. Advancements continue to be made in this field, and our research contributes by identifying minor and cost-effective changes that can increase shelter dog adoption success. Adoptions are vital to allow shelter resources to reach more animals, and so they can transition from an environment that's designed to be temporary. We must provide these dogs with the best adoption opportunities, and removing breed labels in shelters could have an impact. Breed labels are usually assigned based on physical appearance, and having this information can be beneficial for animal care, yet majority of shelter dogs have an unknown pedigree, and dog phenotypes are multifaceted. Whether a breed label accurately reflects a dog's genetic makeup may not be efficient for successful adoption matches. But most importantly, canines are complex individuals whose behavior and appearance are influenced by numerous factors, therefore should be seen as such. These are our 3 research objectives, and today I'm going to briefly touch on each of them. Ultimately, we would like to better assist shelters, the dogs, and adopters in creating the best opportunities for adoption success. A few hypotheses from our research objectives will be discussed today. However, our overarching hypothesis is that the removal of breed labels will positively correlate with adoption rates and negatively correlate with length of stay. Pre-post test methodology was utilized through a survey instrument at a local dog shelter. Data collection lasted 12 weeks with a 4-week control, 4 weeks with removal of breed labels from kennel cards, and 4 weeks returning to the control. We also utilized a subpopulation of participants to observe the dog's behavior during their visit and code those behaviors using an ethogram to determine any behaviors that may impact adopters' decisions. We had a total sample size of 217 completed pre- and post-visit surveys and a subpopulation of 38 behavior observations. Shelter staff kept an undisclosed list of proposed breed labels during the treatment period. Although adoption rate decreased after the return of breed labels, there was no statistical difference between our treatment versus either control period, and length of stay decreased only numerically, rejecting the hypothesis that breed label removal impacts these areas. Our data supports the hypothesis that breed label removal would decrease the amount of adopters who chose breed as a reason to adopt on that day, increasing again with the return to control and almost never selected for non-adopters. Logistic regression was performed to determine the effects of adopter demographics and perceptions of a dog on adoption likelihood. When breed labels remained, breed influenced adoption where it didn't in the treatment period. Our data partially supported the hypothesis that observed positive behaviors from the ethogram would positively correlate with adoption likelihood, while observed negative behaviors would negatively correlate. Disobedience also decreased likelihood of adoption before outlier removal. Our overall hypothesis that breed labels impact adoption and length of stay disagrees with current literature, which could be due to factors such as our population. Yet breed labels do influence adopters choosing breed as a reason to adopt, and behavior has influences as well. I hope this brief overview of a portion of my data and results illustrates how multifaceted adoption decisions may be, and an aid for minor changes any shelter can implement to impact adoption success and the community, whether it's breed labels or shelter dog behavior. We'd like to increase adoption success of shelter dogs across the board. Keep in mind that how a dog is labeled or their appearance is not an indication of past or future behavior or their suitability for a particular adoption placement. Thank you.